Hi, my name is Abigail, and I am a book snob. This is the part where you go, "Hi, Abigail." It's okay. Nobody's watching. Probably. I began loving books at the ripe old age of 3. It all began with a book that is a literary classic known as Pins and Pans. This book was the gateway into my reading journey, and it's been all downhill from there. Have no fear, though. I am not a book snob in the traditional sense. I will not judge you much for the books that you read. I understand. Everybody has their own genres, their own preferences when it comes to reading, and I can respect that. I'm also not a traditional reader in the sense of those top 10 lists that they show, top 10 things that all readers understand. A lot of times I read those lists and I go, I don't really get it. I mean, I like to buy books, but I don't buy tons and tons and tons of books. I use my library a lot. And e-reader, paper book, meh. You're reading. It doesn't really matter to me. They both have advantages and disadvantages. Personally, I use both. No, I am a book snob when it comes to the books themselves. When it comes to plot, writing style, editing, these things are important to me. And I tend to be very critical of them sometimes. But have no fear, I am an equal opportunity critic. I am just as likely to criticize Jane Austen as I am, E.L. James or Stephanie Meyer or somebody like that. As a result of my book snobbishness, I don't always give 5-star reviews on Goodreads. I just don't. If I really, 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 really like a book, then I'll give it 5 stars. I may enjoy a book. It may be an average book, but I'm not going to give it 5 stars. An average book gets about 3 stars, sometimes 3.5, 4 maybe, sometimes 2. It just depends. But the content of the book is what makes me a book snob. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to hate on books that don't have as good of plots. I really like indie books. I really like books that sometimes even aren't edited that well, just because I like to see what people do. But the good news is, I tend to always try to find at least one positive thing to say about a book. Even if I don't recommend that you read it, I do try to say, well, this had something positive at least. So, come along with me on this road to recovery from my book snobbishness. Or perhaps it's more of a descent farther into insanity. Regardless, I think it's going to be an interesting trip.